Okay. So we are by Seif Hey. We're talking about the halachas of yichud, of seclusion, would be that the prohibition of being secluded with people with whom relations are prohibited. So 5. Loitis yachad isha achas afilu im anoshim harbe ad shetihye ishtei shel echad mehem shal. So one woman should not seclude herself even with many men unless she is the wife of one of them. And so too a man should not seclude himself with women, even if it's many women. Haga, so Ramah says, and there's another opinion, the isha achat misyachedesh im shnei anoshim kshedim im hu ba'ir, which this I believe is actually how we hold today by the Ramah, is that some say that one woman is allowed to be secluded with two men, with two kosher men. Kosher men meaning two men who are known to be upstanding, not loose men. And this is provided it's in the city. Stam anosh, so who's considered a kosher person? Stam anoshim kshedim. Generally speaking, unless we know otherwise.
So it doesn't have to be Tamid Chachamim. We're saying just okay.
Right. It means not those people.
As long as we don't suspect them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Negative.
However, if they are like loose people, I don't know if there's a better word for prutzim, but they're what do you call it? Like immoral people.
Right. Yeah, I think immoral. It's funny. I think immoral has a stronger connotation today. Today, you say immoral, what it was like. It almost sounds like, well, the guy's a murderer or something. Gangster.
What's it called?
No, what I'm saying is that prutzim is not such a strong language. It is more like what we today would call just someone who's loose.
Yeah,
the guy's a bit of a,
like
he's a hoe.
I would say we're talking about a degree of immorality, like a cat collar or something like that, I don't know. Or maybe that's even better. Maybe it means somebody who's known to attack
This guy's hitting on married women and chill, like it's just not appropriate.
Right. It's kind of thing, yeah. So then with such men, not only does two of them not suffice, but even 10 of them is still no good. The kol zaboir, and all of the above is specifically, he reiterates now, in the city. Avol basada, however, in the field, or if it's at night, even in the city, but in on shleisha, then you need 3 kosher men. Right? I feel a big shadim. Even by kosher the people. V'yesh matirin ish echad im nashim harbe im ein iska im anoshim. Some allow, if it's one man and many women, provided that he does not work with women. Working with women doesn't mean work in the same workplace, meaning that his line of trade doesn't have to do with women. He's not a lingerie salesman or something. You know what I mean?
He's not a sheitel.
Right. Something. Whatever. Or a gynecologist, whatever it is. I guess any trade that has intrinsically creates it with that he has a certain comfort level around women more so than
interesting. So that is an age. You could be principal of a school, or even a teacher, dealing with mothers maybe. All the time, or female teacher, especially the principal of a girls' school.
Right. Okay, so that's inside. Now we go into the Chelkas Mechekik, Sifkat Zion. So the Mechaber says that one woman, according to the Mechaber, one woman should not be even with many men. Hakam, the reason, the Gemara Kedushin, that in the Gemara Kedushin, Daf Pei Aleph Amud Aleph, Meist Kol She'enon Keshedim, going Rabbi Chanina Bar Papi V'Chaveirov. So this is if they're not Kshedim. 1 second. Let's look up this. Let's see what the Gemara is talking about over here. Look at this Gemara. So where are we? Kedushin 81a. Right next to where we were looking at.
Yeah, we're just looking at 81b before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Kedushin, so
We're
I guess
looking
it
at
should be
80B
that
and 80. This is right in between. We were looking at 80B and 81B.
Right. It's Kedushin, so I guess you shouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning. It's Kedushin.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, don't it? Okay, so now 81A. So it starts out to have that. I get to 80B. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. This Rav Yehuda says name Rav Leishanu Ela Ba'ir. What they were talking about only in the city. On the way until there's 3 of them. Why? Because Shemi Tzarech Echel Lahashtin. Maybe one has to go to the bathroom. And then you find that the other one is Nipul with her. Why? Because they don't have to go to the bathroom. So therefore it has to be 3. Nema Messiah. So let's say that the Mishnah supports him, what he's saying. That they provide them with 2 Torah scholars to accompany them, lest they sing together. He and 3. So before in the Mishnah it says that they give him 2 Talmidei Chachamim that are there to guard that he shouldn't sin with them. So the 2 guys and him, that makes 3. So
Right.
That's 2. That's 3. Hasam ki dino ali sahadi. So that they are witnesses for him. That there, the additional men are the witnesses to testify. Now let's see what this part is though. Here we go. Rav Yehuda, because the Rav Yehuda, right? Hava Kozla he eats a kamayo, and a certain woman was walking before them, ahead of them. Amalei Rav Yehuda. So Rav says to Rav Yehuda, Dal kar oyich mikamei gehenim. Raise your feet away from Gehenna. Meaning raise your feet and walk away from Gehenna.
Let's walk quickly so we're not following this.
So we don't end up we don't end up in a state of seclusion with her, basically. So, Amar lei, he said to him, Rabbi Yehuda said to him, "V'ham marhu the Amar b'kshedim shapir damei." But wasn't it master, meaning wasn't it you yourself? Wasn't it master that said that it's allowed if they're fitting people, if they're kosher people?
Right.
Amar lei,
Aren't we
yemad
kosher?
b'kshedim anavat. So he says, who says I was referring to people like me and you?
And who said we're kosher?
Right. So he said, Elike going mais. So who are we talking about then? He said, Gain Rabbi Chanina about Papi v'Chaverev. Like Chanina about Papi and his colleagues, which that Chanina about Papi apparently was he was somebody who was tested with this and withstood, but other people aren't trusted with this.
There you go. More like, so there was a specific incident with Chaner Bar Papi that showed that he could control himself. It's not just Stam saying like, oh, now that guy's a from a yid, like he wasn't like, some of the false humility
somebody
we see
who's
nowadays.
So holy like Chanina, and not only that, to the point where the Rab doesn't consider himself an Rabbi Yehuda of such a caliber.
Well, no, so that's the distinction I'm making, is that if it was just Stam him saying, oh, well, that guy's from, I swear a bunch of fry yucks pretending to be from, but that's not what he's saying. He's saying, he's saying, Badafka, no, this guy had an issue and it was proven that he could withstand it. We might be kosher, but it hasn't been proven yet. We've never been tested, and hopefully never will be tested in such a thing. So we're not verified. Right. It's still b'koyach. It's still it's still potential, but we don't know.
This is where the Mechalkes says this is where the Mechaber says comes from. Right? What's the reason that a woman can't be even with a lot of men? Because in the Gemara it says, right, the basic kol she'inan afilu asarak she'em asura l'siyachad imayim. That when are we talking two people is enough is when it's like Chanina Bar Papi and his friends. But if it's not Chanina Bar Papi and his friends, even 10 aren't good enough, and that's where the Mechaber gets this thing. Well, we might get it also through other things, but that's the source of it in either case, the Gemara.
Excuse me.
Ayin Biran and seeing Iran, why does it say one woman? Which is topic in Dafke Isha Achas. Aval shtei noshim im shnei anoshim rabbe mikre v'shnarim. Right, so the Ran says that the fact that he says Isha Achas, so one woman, means that maybe for two women and two men, maybe it's permitted because then it's called. They're called a rabbin. They're called like in public. It's enough people that it's considered in public. Or on the other hand, maybe it just that's the case, the common case, but really it's the same as one. If it's two women and two men, same problem. And it's not called publicly is only shleisha noshim and shleisha noshim. It has to be 3 and 3 men and 3 women. Then it's already considered a public place. V'ayim bach and tzidabach. So the Ran was mistapik. He had a doubt. If 2 and 2, if this being that the wording used is if one woman is with 10 men, right? It's secluded with 10 men. It's a problem. But how about 2 women? So why 1? So it would imply that 2. That because 2 and 2, if it's 2 men and 2 women, then it's a public, or he's not sure, maybe only 3 and 3. Okay, says the Beis Shmuel, man, right? That one woman cannot be with a lot of men unless she's the wife of one of them. Why? Because then her husband is there. So obviously she's not going to be drawn to sin because her husband's right there. And therefore what? And then Oz Hashniya, so then if there's another woman, Meaning if there's a bunch of men and there's one woman, right? Or a few women. Well, I guess two, because if there's 3 and 3, then it's already according to everybody would seem that's called a crowd already. But let's say there's 2 women and a bunch of men. But so if one of them is a wife of one of the men there, then it's fine because her husband will guard her, and once he's guarding her, then the second one is also embarrassed to sin, being that the first one is being watched by her husband. From this, it implies that the Rambam holds. It would imply, therefore, that the Rambam, which is where the Mechaber gets this from, holds that not just one woman with a lot of men, but even 2 women with a lot of men cannot be secluded. Lav eishes echad mehmi muteres. That if not, then even if one of them isn't the wife of one of the people there, what's the problem? So obviously he holds that even with 2 women, it's the problem. Because that's what the Rambam, it's the Rambam that says that. The Rambam, and the other one, being that the husband's watching her, she has busha. So it implies that if not for the husband, if not for the husband of one of them being there, then it wouldn't be allowed. So it would seem, therefore, that the Rambam holds that 2 women secluded with a lot of men is not allowed. According to this, and then, so according to this, so it makes sense that later he's talking about the next seif. In the next seif, he says that many women and many men, you're not worried about it. It's allowed, right? So interestingly, this connects with what the Ran, because the Ran was going to stop. But the debate here holds clearly that according to the Ran, then that's already many women and many men, so 3 and 3. But I'm Prisha, and see in the Prisha, Marshal, what he writes the name of the Marshal, V'ayin Bach, and see the Bach, which actually the Chalkas also pointed to. One woman with many men, because her husband guards her. So too, it's allowed so long as his wife is among those women. Gam nishma mirambam. It also implies mirambam the svirolei that it also implies mirambam that he holds stam anoshim loy machzikim isam likshedim. The hakosav im anoshim harbe asur. So it sounds like the Rambam doesn't hold the Rambam holds that stam men we do not consider to be kshedim, right? Even though the Ramah said this. But the Rambam would imply not, and I guess that would also make sense that the Mechaber then would hold the same thing. Meaning probably he's by the Rambam he holds Kshedim to be like Chanina ben Papi. That's a cool name. He was like what's it called? It was like a Latin Tana or whatever. Chanina ben Papi, you know.
Ben Papi.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so the whole cost of Menashim had to be also because what does he write? With many men is also, and we know from like that no, that's men like Hanin ben Papi, not the whereas the Ramah holds differently. The Ramah holds that Stam Anashim Kshedim him, which is actually interesting because the Ramah says it right following. First he says Yesh Emrim that there's that some say that a woman with if she's with two men, two kosher men, it's fine. Wait, so how's that possible? And then his next thing explains that really, according to this. That's because stam anoshim kshedim him. The standard person is considered a kosher, and therefore two men is fine. Whereas the mechaber really he also holds with two kshedim is fine. So why doesn't he say that? Because by him kshedim means a whole different thing. A kosher person is a whole different thing. It has to be like Chanin ben Papi.
Papi earned that last name, Ben Papi.
Papi.
Maybe it wasn't his natural last name. They're like, "Oh, you big Papi, you passed that test. You're you're Ben Papi."
So he said all of this that we spoke about is specific, right? The Rama says. Masada. So what's the reason in the field is different that you need three. That maybe one of them will have to will have he needs to go to the bathroom, and he'll leave, and then now he left the other guy alone with the woman. Because of the Archimesha b'Shem Ben Yerucham, and the Archimesha writes in the name of Ben Yerucham, Davka k'sheyelchu imal lishmerisa. This is specifically when part of their function there is protecting her, right? Because a woman traveling alone, traveling in the field or whatever it is, right? So they want to send a man with her to protect her. So you can't send we can't send one man, that's yichud, right? Fine, so send two men, right? No, because you can't send two men because one might have to go. So wait a second. So why don't they both go? So that's why, let's say one of the men has to go to the bathroom. So the other one can just go. He can go with the man, leave the woman alone, and then when the other guy's finished, come back. So he says this is talking about when he went. They are with her to protect her. But if part of their function is not protecting her, right? They can just leave her alone. Listen, he has to go to the bathroom. I'm not allowed to be alone with you, so I'm going with him. Or I'm going somewhere else. And when he comes back, I'll come back. We'll come back together. So therefore, it's specifically when part of their function is guarding her. That in that case, they can't leave her alone. The image that if one person has to go to the bathroom, the second one will go with him and she'll stay by herself. What's the problem? And we don't suspect, what's going to happen? It's because one's going to go and the other one will take that opportunity to be able to stay alone with her, right? No, we don't suspect this. Why? The Habik Shadim ID. We're talking about kosher people. They're not going to do it on purpose. We're talking about, since they're Shadim, so one person we can't leave alone because his tivus, his desires might overcome him. But when there's two of them, you don't have to worry about that. So we're not worried that in the first place, when he leaves, the other guy won't leave with him. Because we're talking about kosher people. We're talking about proper people. So obviously, so we don't have to worry about it. And rather, we can be certain that when the one guy has to go, the other guy will go with him and they'll leave her alone. That in the field. I guess it could just mean not, the city.
A rough city. I mean, my parents met because my father and his friends were walking my mother home.
Why? Mishum d'chashinon, because he's worried. What's that?
Oh, sorry, no, I cut out.
They're walking where?
My parents met. My father walked my mother home in Crown Heights with a friend that was there. It was in the city of Nebraska because it's Crown Heights in the 80s, they sent you through the 80s. It's not safe.
Right. Right. It's well populated by people who would notice.
Right.
So, but in the night, what's the problem? Because Cheshinon Shema Yoshin Echad Mehem. Same idea. What if one guy falls asleep? And now Yishara Shenima. How he can't, he's not watching the other guy, he's sleeping. Afal Gav the Efshlei Hook Excavator, even though even though technically he's able to wake up his friend Mikal Makim Beini Leveini Misyachadim. But still, in the meantime, he ends up because they're alone. So it's a problem. New Ravid Lois Vidalokin. However, the Ravid doesn't hold like this. The whole cause of Shema Yoshin Echad, the Harsheni Yase Isur V'Yoveyala. The second person is going to do a prohibition and be with her. So according to this, in a way of according to this, when they're traveling, it's not allowed. Even if they're not going to guard her. Why? Because the problem isn't meaning you do worry about this. About what we said before is you don't worry about when we're talking about the field. We said that you're not worried by shadim that they're going to do this. However, this is difficult. Why? Why would you think that on purpose he's going to do an isur? Since we're talking about shadim, what's the difference there by the field where we say if the one has the bathroom and the second will just go with him. Since they're not, and to this case, the other one will wake her up, right?
Right.
Lisa, can you make the air conditioner? I don't know. She doesn't know how to use it.
It's presumed kosher people.
Yeah, so right. So we should say the same thing like before, that if like one has to go to the bathroom, the other one will right. So why here we say that the one will fall asleep and then the other one will sin? Why don't we say the same thing, that he'll wake her up, right? The Hershel Yashiv, and here's a possible answer. The cost of the Prisha, and it's written in the Prisha. Mizen ispashit haminog the hanoshim leichin imohen tinaki tinakis v'nesim al igolein orel. What's this? So from this, the minhag is that the women, they take a baby, a boy baby or a girl baby with them. I don't know what this has to do with that. I see what it is. He says, actually, Yashiv Tzasn is, he doesn't say what the answer is. and then he continues on to a different thing. I thought that's the answer. That's not the answer.
He doesn't know.
He says, actually, Yashiv Tzasn is possible to maybe answer it in different ways.
With it, and that's that.
Okay. So then he says, from this it came the minhag. Because of this, the minhag was what went around that the I understand what has to do with babies when they were. I guess it's like a child. Let's see. Yeah. So it looks like they go with a guy basically. He says so. This is from this thing. It became women take with them a child, and they travel with a wagon driver who's not who's an auto. It's not that way. If they need to go to the bathroom, they go together. I'm not sure how that helps anything. What what the scenario is here.
Guess she's technically safe.
Also, and the Bach writes in the name of the Marshal. This is completely not allowed. I guess. This does not actually help it. And it would seem like the Mechaber also agrees with this because you can see that he didn't put the opinion of that opinion in here at all. So he agrees also this is not a good thing. I'm not sure exactly what the situation is, but it has to do something with they go with like a wagon driver who's a guy, and then like that they're having the infant there helps it or something in some way, or
So then the two guys can go off alone, but because she has her baby, it's not yichud with her and the guy. Maybe.
no, because it says when either her or the child needs to go to the bathroom. Or is that how it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll have to ask on that. Okay, and then we said v'yesh matirin ish echadim nashim harbe. Some allow one man with many women. Meaning with three. So this helps us understand any time over here when it says with many, right? So we can use the three as a crowd rule. That's the definition of many in here. The Mas Nisan that we learned, the Kedushin, Daf, Pei, Amud Beis. Like Asra, Rakli Shtei Nashim. That with two women, he's not allowed to be alone. So you learn from there, right? While Taisvis Sham and Taisvis there, Daf Pei Beis Am Daleth. The Dibur Hamas Yisiyachidim Nashim. Hikshu al Rashi. So Taisvis asks on Rashi. Nehodam Rinon, from that it says Anoshim mibifnim v'noshim bachutz chayshim mishum yichud, that he says that we say that men inside and women outside we worry about yichud, about seclusion. Mashma, that sounds, it makes it sound like afilu bahar ben noshim shaykh yichud, right? It makes it sound like even with many women there's a possibility of yichud. And we have to say that's Rashi, that according to Rashi, the mighty, the Misha Us Iskem Anashim. So it must be that Rashi there is talking about that person who his business dealings or his field of work or whatever has to do with women. So therefore, that's why Rashi holds in that case that one man with many, the man with many women is it's still a problem. He must be talking about that man that we spoke about before, that his dealings is with women. Babach, and in the Bach, Chilik, Bein in Betchilim Siachdim Habinoshim, Keshari, or Bein in Mikonis, Behach Bein Anoshim, Yodah Bay Azasim. The Bach differentiates of if he goes into a place with a lot of women, as opposed to he's sneaking in a place with a lot of women. Then it's not allowed. Noshim Harbi, Manoshim Harbi. Oh, that's it. That's the next part is ready for the next safe. So now we go to the Beis Shmuel, right? If his business dealings are not with women, right? He's not a person, right? So this whole thing that we said that with many women is fine, meaning with three, it's fine so long as his work does not entail working in a field that would make him comfortable around women. Why? Rashi, because according to Rashi, somebody who works with women it's worse. Also, and he's not allowed to be even with many women, i.e., even with three or more. The Taisvis Svirole, and Taisvis holds afilu im ishtay imay. Taisvis goes a step further and says even if his wife is with him.
No snap. It's not enough.
Even his wife is with him, that usually that's an automatic no problem. Also, he's still not allowed to. Why? Because this is a different kind of person than a regular person. This is a person who feels comfortable around women, right? So that makes it a whole different scenario. However, the Rambam he holds and Misha Oskav Iman Im Hanoshim. He holds that somebody who who works around women, he actually holds that this person. Now remember, it was Ramah that brought this thing that somebody who works with women, right, is so the Mechaber doesn't bring that, so which makes sense when we consider the fact that the Mechaber very often holds like the Rambam. So according to Rambam, it's the other way around. Somebody who works with women, it's actually even better. It's not worse, but rather it's better. And that's why it says even. Yes, over there he says the way he said.
What happened? You got muted. What? Mendel, you're muted. I don't know.
Weird.
There we go.
It dropped for a second, but then
for a second, and then it said Kollel Eretz Hatzvi is host now. I like. It's reset for some reason.
Okay. You can hear now?
Yeah, you're back up.
Fine. Okay, so
just for a second.
What?
It was just for a moment.
Okay.
I don't think I missed it.
So so he holds, and you can see this by his wording. What's his wording? His wording is that you can't be with many women, even somebody who works around women normally, or deals with women, right? So, which implying that he holds, even though he holds neither person can be misiach with many women, but it's obvious that he holds that this is a better type of person than the other way around, because he says even this person can't be misiach with women, which shows that other, i.e., somebody who's not his job with women, is even more so.
Would be worse. Right.
Anyway, so that's the Rambam holds that that person's better, and whereas the Tosfos holds over there that
I wonder why.
that it's worse. In fact, not only is it worse, it's worse to the point that even if his wife is with him, it still doesn't help.
Well, I wonder why. Is it the Rambam holds that? Hello?
But
Sorry, cut out there for a second again. No, I was just saying, I wonder why. I wonder why the Rambam, whatever, it doesn't help to speculate. But like, I don't know, it's just, I'm thinking like, is it the theory that, someone would rather, like, is more likely to fool around, a one night stand with somebody? Or is it you're more nervous that somebody that they're familiar with would do something, someone would do something? Like, what is it the difference of opinion of what's more likely? That somebody, when they're around someone they don't know would do something?
well, it's like
Or
this.
is someone going to do something with someone they do know? Like,
So according to the Rambam, it's similar to how there's the psak. There's like if there's no mechitza by Sheva brachas,
right,
right? Remember that whole sugi, whatever.
right,
Anyway,
right.
so one of the opinions, not we don't really go by it. One of the opinions was,
She's saying the fact that he's more used to them, there's less
yeah,
of a
so
Yetzer
right,
Hara by him, so there's less to be concerned about.
right, because he's less likely to get excited by this, because he's used to it. He's
right.
more numb to it, right?
Less of a problem.
Which is
Interesting.
not a good thing, but that's the
Right,
way it is.
right.
So that's according to the Rambam. According to Tosfos, the other way around.
Says no, yeah.
It's the other way around. Since he's comfortable around them, he's not going to be, he's
There's less
more
holding him back.
comfortable starting a conversation with the how you
Right.
and so it's more. So one holds it's more like it makes him more comfortable, so it's more likely. And the other one holds no, because he's not, even though Taka, he might be more likely to talk to them or something, but he's not excited about this as much, because he's around it on a regular basis. So it's not like he's so it's not like the guy who just got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guy who just got out of jail, he hasn't had contact with, for a long time.
Right.
Right. So he gets very excited, any little, any little glimpse of a wrist or an ankle, so that's the one svara, and the other svara is all the way around. And no, because he's comfortable, he's more likely to, fine. Anyway, so that is hey, Vav.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what are your time constraints tonight? Because it is 10 to 11. I don't know what you're.
No, I can go for a bit. I mean, Vav is also pretty short.
Sounds good. Okay, so you'll we'll keep going. So
Yeah.
you'll let me know.
Yeah. So Vav.
Sounds good.
No, look. We just have to finish the rest of this book here.
No big deal.
Don't worry. You only have to do this. You see us with black rings around our eyes.
100 years later.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, noshim harbe im anoshim harbe. Many women with many men, which of course, like we said before, that means three and three. Ein cheshishem yichud. You do not. If the men were outside, the hanoshim bifnim, and the women inside, or alternatively, and the other way around, hanoshim bifnim, hanoshim bachutz. ופירס האיש בין האנשים, أي إيش أخذ بين الناشم أشر أسر مشم يخد. Basically, if you went into the Viber show,
My style. Hello?